I'm just waiting until everybody comes in. I did tell y'all I was going to go live today to tell you about the supplemental draft because it did happen. Hello. So hold tight. We're just going to wait till everybody come in. I'm telling everybody in the group chat to come on. More drafts, babe. You got it. All right. I'm trying to wait till I get some more people in. We're going to talk about the supplemental draft. Okay. I want to make sure everybody knows because I just watched it. All right. If you want to see it for yourself, you can always go watch it. It's on Peacock right now. It's April 29th episode of SmackDown Lowdown. Megan Morales was not there this week. She had another assignment. So they gave us a couple of picks and a few free agents. Interesting on the free agents. But I'm going to get into it. So this supplemental draft was really raw heavy, which fair. I mean, it's SmackDown has 3 hours, so they're gonna have naturally have more picks. Okay, so Hit Row is gonna stay on SmackDown. Dexter, the Viking Raiders, and Valhalla, Maxim Male Models, Candice LeRae, they're all going to Raw. Chelsea, Sonya, Natalia. What?
I don't think it's charged.
It's right there, Kevin. I just said Raw had 3 hours. If I made a mistake, you know what I meant. Chelsea, Sonya, Natalia, Apollo Cruz are all going to Raw. Lacey Evans is going to SmackDown. The NXT guys that were drafted today were JD McDonough and Zoe Stark. They're both going to Raw. There are 4 free agents that have not signed with anybody, and I don't think they're a part of the draft pool, that they're just free agents. Omos, Von Wagner, who is an NXT talent that's been pulled, Mustafa Ali, and Dolph Ziggler. All of those people were a part of the supplemental draft today. Raw is getting a lot. A lot. Okay. The talent that Raw has just off of this supplemental draft is unnerving. Okay. With them getting Apollo Cruz, JD McDonough, Zoe, and Candice and Dexter, that alone is just ridiculous. But everybody's speculating where certain people are going to go on Monday. There are some people who you already know where they're going to go. More than likely, Johnny Gargano will be drafted to Monday Night Raw, as will Seth Rollins. Their wives are drafted to Raw, therefore they are going to be on Raw. Um, because of Bianca being drafted to SmackDown, more than likely Rhea Ripley will be moved back to Raw. She also, and I imagine Judgment Day would stay on Raw. I think their aesthetic fits Raw. They're probably going to stay there on Raw as well. She's not a fave, but good for Zoe. Yeah, like I mean, personally, I'm not a personal fan of Zoe, like of her bullshit. But Zoe Starks is an amazing talent. I will never take that away from her. I liked Zoe when she first got there. I thought Zoe's character face wise was pretty decent. Heel wise, she works really well. Ring wise, she is immaculate in the ring. I love Zoe as a character and as a wrestler. As a person, our values and moralities don't align, which is okay. I don't have to like you as a person. I just care for the wrestling to begin with. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. Also, this render looks like Rhea has the world title and the SD women's title. Yeah, well, it does look like that because Roman's, he's very belted up, if that makes sense. Meanwhile, Nikita at home punching punching air. Zoe's a muscle power girl I can get behind. I actually that's why I said I tend to not include people's personal political shit into what I'm watching because if I was to do that, I wouldn't watch anybody. So I don't really care what she votes for or what she does. That's her fucking business. I don't really care about her personal beliefs. That's not something I care about unless it's super super egregious. Like if you're a grape apologist or something like that, then we got problems. Then I'm just gonna have to be like, nah, I can't even fuck with you like that. And JD McDonough is another one where I don't like JD McDonough, and I've heard, and we know why. He's had some very, very egregious allegations against him. And I'm just like, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. So there are some things about JD McDonough that I just cannot get behind, but they're putting him on television, and it's nothing short of me ignoring his matches. You know what I'm saying? And like shutting it off. Like that's the only way I can ignore him because they refuse to acknowledge like what the woman said about him. He denies it to this day, but you know. Hello, Cedric. How are you? So some of y'all are coming in a little late. You guys didn't get to hear the supplemental draft picks, so I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Hold on. I need to talk in the group chat. All right. So, supplemental draft. Supplemental draft is as follows, okay? Hit Row was drafted to SmackDown. Dexter, Viking Raiders, and Valhalla. Maximel models, that includes Maxine, Candice LeRae, Chelsea, Sonia, Natalia, Apollo Cruz, JD McDonough, and Zoe Stark were all drafted to Raw. Every single one of them. There are 4 free agents that have not been drafted by either brand. They are available to be drafted, but they are considered free agents that haven't been drafted yet. And I don't know why, but they made a point to make them free agents now before the second half of the draft, which was odd to me. If the draft was over, I can understand you saying, okay, I have a free agent, right? That makes sense because technically they're a free agent. Am I right, AJ? Isn't that how it works
Yeah.
with like any other sport, baseball, football, basketball? If they're not drafted during the draft,
They're free
they're
agents.
considered free agents.
You would have thought they would have made those announcements after the draft was over with.
That's what I'm saying. So I thought that
Mhm.
was odd. I thought that was very odd that they gave us these free agents from the very beginning. The draft is still going. You know what I'm saying? We still have Monday. So while yes, they may be free agents, I guess it's a way to advertise them, to make them a little bit more enticing if that's what you want to do, which is that's great, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just used to it done a certain way, so it seemed odd and out of place in this particular manner. But to move it forward, the four free agents that are left are Omas, Von Wagner, Mustafa Ali, and Dolph Ziggler. Omas comes with MVP, so they are a package deal. All right. The only other talent that was drafted today was Lacey Evans, and she was drafted back to SmackDown. SmackDown only got 2 picks out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 picks that Raw got. SmackDown got 2, which is so odd to me. By Monday, if they do not give SmackDown more picks after that, when they do Raw Talk, I guess, if they don't do more picks for SmackDown, SmackDown isn't going to have shit. Because even though it's a 2-hour show, they still need
The
bodies.
only thing I could think of is all them free agents they announced will eventually get moved to SmackDown. Because, like you said, they need the bodies over there.
No, they need to do this right.
Yeah.
I understand you drafting more people to Raw
Yeah, it's
because
a
Raw
3 hour
has a
show.
3-hour show,
Yeah.
but you don't even use them. So if you're going to be more strategic about who you draft, then do that. But don't draft all these fucking people to Raw
Right.
and then don't do anything with them. Because you can alternate storylines on a weekly basis. You know what I'm saying? Your main event can alter week by week. Like flip flop it. One week, let's say one week Becky and Trish are the main eventers for the
Mm-hmm.
week. Then next week you might have Seth Rollins and Cody main event. Then you flip back and forth. If Becky and Trish got a smaller storyline this week, okay, then we need to put another storyline that has a big traction that need to be the main event. You feel what I'm saying? Like, don't make it so obvious, right? But anyways, those was the draft picks. I wanted to make sure that I told y'all everybody that was drafted. I sat and waited until they put on this show SmackDown Lowdown, which I didn't even know existed. Okay. And because I don't watch it because I don't need a recap of SmackDown. I watch SmackDown, so I don't need to watch it. You know what I'm saying? However, and they have a lot of backstage stuff that happens on SmackDown Lowdown that still aids and embeds into the storylines that we're watching on TV. So for those of you who like a little bit more juice to your storyline, you know what I'm saying? You like your storylines to be beefed up a little bit, I would recommend you do watch SmackDown Lowdown and Raw Talk so you can have a better understanding of the storyline or at least get a little bit more of the nurturing of the storyline, okay? But again, before I go, I'm going to recap these draft picks. This is part of the supplemental draft that was done today. You can go on to Peacock right now, search for the SmackDown Lowdown because it's not going to pop up right away. Look for the SmackDown Lowdown. It's the very first episode, April 29th, 2003. And that is where you will see the supplemental draft picks. You're going to have to fast forward through a lot of recaps from Friday Night SmackDown if you want to see it. But if you just want to hear it from me, I will let you know who was drafted where. SmackDown only had 2 picks today. SmackDown had Lacey Evans and they got Hit Row back. So Lacey Evans and Hit Row will stay on SmackDown. Monday Night Raw, however, got a few extras and some people who were already there, but they got some more. Dexter, Viking Raiders, and Valhalla. The Maxim Male Models with Maxine, Candice LeRae, Chelsea Green, Sonya Deville, Natalia, Apollo Crews. And the two NXT call ups who are officially on SmackDown's roster are JD McDonough and Zoe Stark. All of those people are going to be Raw roster exclusives, and they have been drafted to Raw officially. There are 4 free agents who are not drafted to any brand, but I guess are advertising themselves to be drafted to a brand. So here we are. Omos is a free agent along with MVP. They are a package deal. Von Wagner is the only NXT call up who has advertised himself as a free agent. Mustafa Ali and Dolph Ziggler are also free agents. So there you have it. That's your supplemental draft. Ladies and gentlemen, for now, I don't know if they're going to do another one. I would imagine they would. Monday, however, should be enough time for them to draft everybody that they need to draft and get the draft over and done with. So while there may be another supplemental draft, I'm going to say let's just wait till Monday. I don't think that they will need it. There's 3 hours. That program can be utilized the same way that SmackDown was. Every other draft pick, you will have a match, and then they'll close out the show probably with Trish and Becky at some point because they have to. They might be adding that match to Backlash, or they may be, extending this feud out, a little bit more. Whatever the case may be. But that is your supplemental draft, ladies and gents. I will talk to you guys on Monday after the final draft and let everybody know where everybody is going to be. Hopefully, y'all will be watching too, and you can see it and we can discuss it and see where we think the show is going to go for the next year, because technically this is the beginning of the show. So Monday, or rather May 8th, can be considered your season premiere, and that should start the whole new season for WWE. The season doesn't end for the WWE until WrestleMania, so this is where all the new storylines will begin. Everything that's going to lead us into Mania is going to start Monday, May 8th. Well, yeah, May 8th. All right. So I hope you guys enjoy the supplemental draft and all the stuff that I had going on. Please don't forget, if you want to go back and listen to the picks that the boys and I made and some of the stuff that Nicole said and of course Alexis said on the podcast, you guys can go back to Down for the Count and go check that out for yourselves. It's all up there on the show right now. There's a couple episodes up there for you to listen to. The supplemental draft and who we think should hold that World Heavyweight Championship on the main roster, which it looks like is going to be Monday Night Raw. Okay. Now, if you want to listen to some other stuff on a podcast format that's more along the lines of pop culture, news, TV, all that good stuff, I got you. Go on over to the KTT podcast. I can't talk today. Go to the KTT podcast and go check it out. I've got Am I the Asshole Fridays, Red Rum Mondays, and of course Pop Culture Wednesdays. And each episode has a different tone. You get different information, and it's just a lot more. It's a lot more on the normal side of podcasts. I'm not in such a niche market. And plus, we get to talk about different things 3 times a week. So you got plenty of stuff to listen to over there. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I will see you guys in my next one. Like I said, don't forget to check out the KTT podcast on Spotify and Anchor. They're available for you. Spotify now owns Anchor, so you can get it exclusively on Spotify. With all that being said, I will see you guys in my next one. You guys have a good day.